In this video there will be some tiling, so stay tuned. But first, I recently bought set 4563 Load and Haul Railroad from 1991, and it looks awesome. However, it's a bit too long for my temporary train yard by the docks. I usually just park shorter trains here, like the one by the horizon. And to be honest, set 4563 Load and Haul Railroad from 1991 deserves better. I'm going to extend the rail out into the sea, and that also means more land masses for this area, and less water sadly. But I'm willing to make that sacrifice. While I'm at it, I need to prepare parking space for coming vintage trains, so I'm adding one more track for the yard. That will switch from here and move back between the two current tracks. I'll add landmass to this area as well, but not the whole way to the opposite side. Land is basically falling into the seaside, like I've fallen for you viewers. Bruh. The river don't know where it's going, except it's going away. I bought more green base plates that will go in here instead. That looks much more cohesive. I'm going to muck up a temporary stone wall with regular bricks before I go nuts on the profiled brick bricks I have planned for this area, just to get a feel for the shape that I need. The base plates that's not resting on my IKEA tabletop will be supported by these columns of stacked bricks with tiles on top. Besides the green base plate, I have some older smaller ones so we get a more interesting shape to the harbor. Put in the tracks, and then there's something just so relaxing with stacking brick after brick. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. Makes you think that you should like and subscribe. And while you smash those buttons, I'm going to do some switching operations and park set 4563 Load and Haul Railroad from 1991 and a couple of wagons to get that lovely industrial aura. Stop, wait a minute. We need buffer stops for the yards so that the trains don't derail and that kind of nonsense. I'm using quite common pieces so that you can replicate what I'm building, if you're just fast enough to follow these steps. Basically, a snot piece and some slopes and the stool pieces with tiles on them. A Lego layout is always evolving, so I will add more details to the yard in the future. The driver of the forklift has been complaining over the narrow sides. Apparently, it's hard for her to work under these conditions. So I'm going to remove the temporary wall piece by piece, just like how capitalism is dismantling our souls piece by piece. The crosswalk tiles are temporary placeholders. While filming this video, I got a package from eBay containing set 4564 Freight Rail Runner from 1994. So the cargo wagons needs to be removed, and then we're going to back set 4564 Freight Rail Runner from 1994 into this spot. We can clearly see that this track is still too short for parking trains like set 4564 Freight Rail Runner from 1994. So I'll have to extend this area even further with another base plate. Well, that looks a lot gooder. A bit tight, but I can live with that. The first car in the train set is a bit unnecessary, so I can remove that later. Underneath the harbor, our dear Kraken has her nest where she kills lost sailors. Time to get stoned with some bricks to give us that more fancy look to the harbor area. A stone staircase down to a small wooden jetty. Add a seal that's been kissed by a rose on the gray. And I guess this is Rose. Sexy seal. Time to go bananas on the tiling. This took me some time to place, but I'm using high-end VFX to speed things up. I would say that this is about 80% of the larger pick-a-brick cups when it comes to amount of tiles. And yes, I ran out of tiles. Instead of the crosswalk tiles, I'm going for these gray large tiles. And I'm adding chains with tires on them as protection for the harbor and the ships. We need some more life to this scene, something fishy. And what's more fishy than a pod of dolphins? Scientists claim that they are mammals, but scientists have salaries, so it's in their economic interest to claim stuff. Well, I claim that this piece is super awesome, and it needs to go into my layout and be a place where you can moor your boat. Enough of that nonsense. I added more of the change with tires for a change. I never get tired of those. I've also put in some lovely greenery in the form of water foliage. Bonus shot of a pizza slice. Gotta stay fueled while legoing. That's a verb. Here's another jetty. I've spaced out the large grey tiles to make room for bollards, which are these sturdy short posts you see at docks that ship can moor to. More is more. The rainbow bear has caught a salmon. I do have the albino gator, and it will go down into what can be a sewer. Ugh. And its lair will be covered with this assembly that has a grill thingy on top, so that the dock workers can have a wee on the gator for good fun, since internet is banned in Sultown. I think urine works a bit like bleach. In my Jan Lööf book that I use as inspiration, there's an old school crane that looks magnificent, and I want one in my town real bad. The crane will work as an umbrella when the workers pee on the gator. I am adding 4 metal legs that's held together by another grill thingy plate. That has a turntable on top of it, spinny. The housing on top has some fancy Technic parts that holds the crane in place, and you can extend and contract the line for the hook as a play feature. Pop that in its place like so. I'm using these road slopes for the roof construction. Would you know, those new road plates and slopes aren't that worthless after all? Now let's put in a chimney on top and a small ladder for accessibility. Wonderful! What's a Lego seaside scene without a shark? So here's one. Now I currently don't have a cargo ship, but I will build a mock one in the future. For now, set 6285 Black Seas Barracuda from 1989 will have to do. I got this set for Christmas when I was 8 years old, just a wee K-foal. With that said, stay out of the nonsense, stay awesome, please subscribe and watch out for the dolphin!